Yes, good morning. Welcome to the Colony Golf and Bay Club this morning. My name is Christopher. I'm the club manager over at the golf club. It is our pleasure to welcome you to the first ever inaugural, if I may, Colony Market Realty Snapshot presented by Ms. Jill Kushner of Downing Fry Realty. She asked that I stop by and just give you a brief welcome this morning. We also did want to touch base on a small item of interest for you, I'm sure, as you utilize this forum to, as the title implies, getting a good snapshot of the realty developments within the colony, its potential in the upcoming years. WCI does have plans. We're not exactly sure when. We're anticipating in the third or fourth quarter of 2012 of beginning the Bay Winds project, also known as Parcel P for some of you who have studied the plats and land use plan from Lee County. Bay Winds is a mid-rise project similar to the Castella development. We anticipate a price point of somewhere between $500,000 and $600,000 based upon market research at this time. All of that, however, is subject to change. The conditions that would probably most trigger the development of Bay Winds is the traffic throughout the community. This is one of those instances that we are using this snapshot to help promote greater traffic within the community, which will obviously benefit all of us as homeowners here inside. With that being said, it is my pleasure to turn over the microphone then to Ms. Jill Kushner of Downing Fry Realty, and she'll take you through the snapshot that is the colony. Thank you.
My name is Jill Kushner. I do work for Downing Fry Realty. I had many years been on site here with WCI. And, you know, a couple of years ago, we all know what happened to WCI at the time. They came successfully through their bankruptcy process. We were pretty close to being finished here at the colony, so it didn't have the enormous impact on us here at the colony as it did in some of the other communities and real estate holdings they have in the state of Florida. So at any rate, I'm just really want to sort of share with you what got me going about coming here this morning to talk with you. Obviously, I'm a realtor. I represent buyers and sellers. What I want to do is I want to retire from this community, and that's not tomorrow. That's a few years away. And so my passion and my business focus has been about the colony for a decade, and I'd like it to continue to be about the colony for another decade. And I think it's important to come out and share with you a story that's really super positive, okay? Lots of people from the north are listening to stories on the media. You know, for example, we've got another round of foreclosures, we haven't hit the bottom yet, these sort of things. And I just want to sort of give you a general statement that things in the colony are not that way. And today I'm going to evidence that to you. Okay, this is not at all subjective, it's all built on closed sales and what's currently for sale. So, we're all about who lives here. We're all about our lifestyle. We're all about enjoyment. And I want to start by sharing with you, introducing to you two of our newest residents here. They come to us from Naples, Florida. So they came north to the colony. They owned a single-family home in Naples, a beautiful home I saw myself, an estate home that they built. And they decided to move here, among other reasons, but certainly for privacy and to get rid of the maintenance factor of the single-family home living. We met originally at an open house at Florencia, and we opened a few doors, and they decided on Treviso. And so they're on a beautiful bragging rights, high floor over at Treviso, 3 bedrooms and a den, 3.5 baths. Kurt and Carol Richter come to us from Wisconsin. They own another home in Santa Fe. And I would just like to have them stand up and so we can say good morning and hello. Kurt and Carol Richter. Kurt, if you had to say what it was that finally made you made a decision on the Colony, could you say in a few words what that was?
Well, I think it was you. You did a wonderful job of introducing us to the various places. You were very patient with our first deal, and well, we were too. But they've all done a wonderful job of, welcoming us here and telling us what's going on. And we're looking forward to meeting a few more people and participating in some of the events. So it's just so nice to be away. We used to live on a golf course, and every morning you'd hear lawnmowers mowing and the blowers blowing the leaves off the greens and things like that. It was kind of noisy. It wasn't as peaceful as people think. This is wonderful. We're on the 17th floor. It's quiet up there. If we want to get the noise, we'll go find noise somewhere else. But you did a wonderful job.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Richters. And then I have another one for you, people who came from right across the street. So not everybody comes from Pennsylvania or Minnesota directly. Some people land here and decide that this is what they want. We have some friends that are still in Pelican Bay who are trying to get up here. But I'd like to introduce to you a couple who also, we made a beginning. Their friends moved over here. I hope I get this right. Their friends moved over to the Colony from across the street at the Brooks, Shadowwood specifically. And we made a beginning. We started to look at some of the high-rises. He was very, very gung-ho, loved everything he saw. Wife was a little bit more, it's like finding the right pair of shoes, So we tried on the different shoes, and all of a sudden one day, after a while of looking, we landed on something a little different. One of the Colony's unique neighborhoods in that it's our only mid-rise, Castella. And she walked in, and I have the fortune in my business of watching people. You can almost see it in their eyes when they hit that one. And so we were hitting on all cylinders. Both Judy and Joe Gallo really fell in love with this particular end residence at Castella. Please let me introduce to you Joe and Judy Gallo. Okay, Joe, tell us, what made it happen for you? Judy.
Congratulations on your patience. She didn't mention it was a 3-year process. Yes, there was Judy, and of course I loved it as well. And we love every minute we've been here since. So it's been great.
Thank you.
Absolutely wonderful.
That was great.
We love having you here. So, let us go ahead and make a beginning. What I wanted to do is just give a sort of a macro view of the Colony, because a lot of folks come here and they lock onto a certain home style and maybe miss the sort of less sexy but important points. Currently in the Colony we have 825 front doors, homes. Could be high-rise, could be single family, but it shakes out like this. We have basically 500 high-rise homes. We have 6 high-rise in total, and we started with Mr. Eslick's building, Sorrento in 2001, Palermo 2002, okay? La Scala came out of the ground in 2003, followed by Treviso in 2004, Navona in 2005, and finally our newest offering, Florencia, in 2007. Mid-rise property. In your package you have a site plan And you'll see for yourself how this sort of shakes out. Again, this is 809 acres. And Castella, surrounded by the protected lands, a 72 unit, 6 over parking, a little different. When I was back at the developer level, we used to refer to that as the Uncola. So many people that came to the Colony had locked on to the high-rise idea. But once we got them over to Castella, they just really liked the classic features of the way that place lays out. I think everybody would agree it's a very majestic entry, and they have a beautiful swimming pool there. The price leader was and has always been Murano. This is to say, what can get us, into the Colony enjoying these $1 million amenities? And Murano was built by Centex Homes, and it started in about 1999 and it concluded in about 2006. My last few days in the high part of the market, we were selling Murano second floor residences for near $800,000. They're 2,700 square feet. But there's a good number of people who got in there before that happened. Those same people that bought at $800,000 were up against people who were in the lottery for one of our new high-rises. We'll talk about that if you like. In the lottery, and those prices were pushing $1 million. Murano was a good value. And so there we have 100 homes. We have 3 villa homes, neighborhoods in the Colony. Addison Place, Las Palmas, and Villa Trevi. And I was talking with Estelle, who is a resident of Addison Place, and that's a beautiful community of about 29 homes and a super offering in relative form because they've got lots of square footage, a beautiful western-facing view. And we have Las Palmas, which was built by Landmark Development. You'll find the same property in Mediterra. It was always less expensive here, though we always felt that that was really a great value because we were west of 41 here, which they are not, as you know. And then finally, in our custom home communities, Bellagio, Tuscany, and Messina, 74 homes. So in total, 825. There you have a copy of the site plan. And then if we go one further, basically this is how it shakes out. We have about 60% of our homes are high-rise. And you can see here on the pie how the rest of it shakes out. So a good number of prospects that are going to come to the Colony are probably going to have some thought process about condominium with a waterfront view. Not always, but it's a typical piece of it. Christopher hit on a little bit of how many we have yet to be built. Again, if you refer to your site plan, there is an area that is due east of Castella. That's platted for a high-rise. And if you go easter of that, you'll see a piece there that WCI refers to as the Bay Winds property. That was slated to be 3 stories over parking. It is a condominium that they did as well down at Tiburon, and believed to be the next property that they will go to. We have a high-rise site due south of Florencia. And that site, we actually, at WCI, we actually released that building before the market went south. That was called Ravenna, and we moved those people who had made reservations on that largely over to either Florencia or Treviso. So we've got that high-rise site. We have the high-rise site that is east of Castella. There is a site that's north of Navona, and there's some scuttlebutt as to what exactly could go there. Okay, I see a lot of my Navona folks listening up here. Not exactly sure. That will probably have to be replatted. We just don't have enough information on it. Here's the good news. It's not something that's likely to make the radar screen in terms of construction anytime soon, though I have heard the same rumors that you may have. The most practical site for them to pursue is the Bay Winds property. There is some idea that they might take back the parcel formerly known as Ponza, which is a 13-unit single-family home villa. Again, so they've got lots of places to go before they worry about that North Navona parcel. Okay? I want to tell you a little bit about my experience with understanding the Colony buyer. And I want to share this with you because I'm sort of setting up to relay or convey to you that while we have really taken it on the chin here in terms of bottom feeders and guys who will come forward with offers that are just downright embarrassing, frankly, to have to submit to the seller. Generally speaking, in good times and in bad, our buyer is college educated. He or she is within 5 years of their retirement or 5 years after their retirement. So they're sort of like some of the people that we've discussed already today who've already come to the area, and this is now their next move, their second move here locally. I've never worked with a first-time home buyer in the Colony, not one time. It's not typically his primary residence. He's here, they are here for a lifestyle-driven motive, okay? What's the opposite of that? We may have at other WCI communities people who come from the north who want to purchase a home because it's inexpensive, because it gets them out of the frozen tundra, wherever that may be. This is really a different story here. I don't have to tell you this is not an inexpensive place to live. So when people come here, we who show the community are intent on showing the amenity piece, the lifestyle, making introductions to other residents here. Because what they want to know is that they can sort of fit in and enjoy the lifestyle. Nobody that I've met wants to pay too much for anything. So price is certainly important, and we certainly have to provide context for what a person's going to make an offer on. But I would say to you, I am not seeing anywhere near the number of people coming down here in a cavalier, offer them 500 and the place is for sale for 9. I'm not seeing that too much anymore. In fact, who was I speaking to before the meeting? I think it was Mr. Evans. We were talking about a recent closed sale at Navona. 1401, never been lived in, closed for 10% over the highest closed sale comparable in the building. So, that's because, people want what they want when they want it. And, we had a seller, God bless him, we had a seller who said no 417 times when I brought him the lowball offers. And, we finally got something that was, near what he was, because I don't have to tell you, he took a loss. He was a first day guy. He bought at the lottery time. It was a number he was willing to accept, and I think he did a great service to the rest of the sellers. And the buyer had to do that because his options were limited. Okay, the buyer 2 years ago that came here had all kinds of options, and he had all kinds of compromised sellers to deal with. Not so much anymore. These are people, largely, in my experience, who, have some integrity about the other sellers, their other people in the building, the values of the building, the values of the community, and, $50,000, they've survived a long time now. You know, they've paid some dues, some fees and taxes in the meantime. And now they're ready to sort of hedge their bets and hold on to it. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about this buyer that, you know, I like to say he's been driving looking through the rear view mirror. You know, he is educated. He's going to the internet and he's looking at closed sales. He's looking at, you know, he knows how to do that now, okay? And it's not like it wasn't the sales agent's job to do that for him. It's just he's now interpreting the information. And that scares me. Because the difference, frankly, in my opinion, between the Colony high-rise and, let's say, for example, a West Bay high-rise is considerable. Just because there's so many stories up does not make it a true comparable. So, you know, part of my job is to give that context. He's listening to the media, as formerly stated. And, you know, I can't speak for what's happening in Toledo, Ohio. But I know what's happening here. And maybe some of you have read about it in the Naples Daily News that Naples Area Board of Realtors has stated out loud that there is a real supply issue. We're not alone. But this is a unique offering that we have here. We're west of US 41, we're waterfront. The market is changing, and when it does change formidably, where are they going to go? You know, there's not new places to build here. So, you know, my message to you, the resident, is hold on, you know, because this is a real good story going forward. I know you've taken it on the chin. And, you know, I, for one, would like to see values recover. I think where we're at right now is low supply. Demand is still a little bit soft. But, you know, all we need is a little bit of push. We only have 62 places for sale here right now. We already sold that much this year. So if you just sort of let that if you digest that a bit, you know, we're on the heel here. We're on the comeback. A lot of people in this room, a lot of potential buyers, go to this site, lipa.org, and fancy themselves informed about the market. Lipa.org, if you're not familiar, is the Lee County Property Appraisers site. And while this can bring you just general information about the assessed value of your home, about how they determine the tax base, I say this 1,000 times a year to people that come here. They go to this site, they find out that Mr. Carlin's property, according to this very official site, is to them worth $600,000. Wrong. I wouldn't even bring him that offer. If I did, he'd say, don't dignify that with a response. Okay? So an appraisal and an assessed value are different things. All right? So if you have questions about your tax, if you have questions about your assessment, I just want to remind you what I think a lot of you already know is those are different things. They're different things. And we all know that the price of a residence is what the seller will sell it for and the buyer will pay. And with a condition of having the low supply that we have, you know, to Mr. Pointette's point over in Navona, you know, maybe we just shouldn't just be giving it away. You know, maybe we should hold on, and I agree with him. I agree with him. I think if you're a buyer, now is a very good time to get in here. You've got your best selection I think you're going to get. I don't see a whole bunch of new sellers coming on the market right now here in the Colony. Okay, so let's move on to what's for sale in the Colony. In your package, you have a total inventory of what is currently for sale. If I break it down for you just in general terms, what we're talking about is 62 properties, all right? Again, mainly high-rise, that makes sense. We've got 7 between Castella and Murano, and 8 homes, that's single family and villa, okay? Let's move forward. Colony, this is just the Colony, closed sales January 1 to this date. This is a total of 67 properties, I believe. 67 properties, we have 62 for sale, okay? So, you know, it makes sense that if those folks are coming into the fold, if they're coming into that, you know, 5 years away from retirement, and, you know, they want to start coming down here 3-6 months out of the year, better make a beginning. While most of our people don't pull a mortgage in the general or traditional sense, something like 70%, appraisals, obviously, that's why an appraisal is essential in, you know, in determining values for a mortgage. But most of our folks that come here, you know, they want what they want when they want it, you know, and so that's why, and the fella, God bless him, and I did invite him here today, but he's still working up in Pennsylvania. I invited the couple that purchased the 1401 at Navona, and he was a very serious negotiator, but it turned on this. She wanted that view and that house. And, you know, price was secondary. You know, they had already done their homework. They had already seen all the amenities. They already golfed the beautiful golf course, ate at the Bay Club, the whole shoot and match. So, you know, again, I just want to share with you, you know, what my perspective is. So if we move forward, I see it as my job as a selling agent, a listing agent. I see it as my job as when I am working with outside realtors who call me and say, you know, I want to show your place at Navona, Jill, and they come from Fort Myers as an example. You know, they don't know about this community. So, you know, what I want to do is just ask them that and see if they're open to a little dialogue about that. Because once they get down here and they just show the high-rise, and they're holding an MLS as an example, the high-rise, and they're holding the MLS sheet, it's going to show something like $17,000 a year in dues. How is he going to make any context of that? So our job is to sort of make it make sense to them. Let's talk about 52 sales we had in 2010 with an average price per square foot of $227. I don't like to sell things per square foot, but I do have to give you some kind of framework here in which to work. 2011, January 1 to date, we've had actually 67 sales, $243 a square foot. This is overall homes altogether. Average days on the market in 2010, 275, 2011, 218. Are you starting to feel the way, the sort of theme of this? Okay, moving forward. Now we're going to break it down. High-rise, 2010 versus 2011. In 2010, we sold 24 high-rise units at $241 a square foot. That was 88% of the asking price. In 2011, we've already sold 42 high-rises at an average per square foot of $261 or 91% of the asking price. We have 50 high-rises for sale. Murano and Castella. I was scared to death about 18 months ago to take a listing over there as there were 20 other units for sale in Murano. There are 100 units in total there. Today, we have 3. It's a great day. It's a great time to buy a Murano residence. You know, we've got a couple over there that are west-facing in the 300,000 range. Move to the Colony for 300,000. I mean, that's a nice deal. That's a very good value. And in Castella as well. Castella, in 2010, we sold 6 at a per square foot of $181. In 2011, we sold 3 because there wasn't anything on the market. $213 a square, or 96% of the asking price. Not so bad. Moving forward to custom homes. In Tuscany Isle, we had 2 homes sell for $325 a square and 89% of the asking price in 2010. In 2011, we had 3 homes sell for $379 a square foot, 90% of the asking price. Today, we have 3 homes for sale in a community of about 40 homes in Tuscany. 2 lots for sale. In Bellagio, we sold 2 for $303 a square foot, or 92% of the asking price in 2010. In 2011, 1 Bellagio sold. We currently have 2 for sale. That community is a little over 30 front doors, okay? We try to work with about a 10% ratio. So we're well below that. In villas, Addison Place, 1 sold in 2010 at 85% of its asking price. In 2011, the other sold for 102% of his asking price. So he had a little more than 1 buyer on that. We have 1 currently for sale, and that is very near what it was. The asking price is very near the high water mark of the values of Addison Place. You'll find it on your sheet. Villa Trevi, we had 1 short sale close in 2010 for 125% of its asking price. It was on the market for $750, and 1 is currently for sale at $995. Okay? So, bottom line, we want to work with a 10%, ratio. Back here in 2005, we had 564 homes in the colony. 116 of those homes were for sale, either pre-construction or already built. That was 21% of the total inventory was for sale. That was high times, right? Today, 2011, we have 825 homes, 65 of them for sale, or 8% of our total. So that's not too much, okay? In fact, that's a little low. So going forward, I just want to share with you why I think what we have here is really pretty special. This is not to say that we don't sell investor product here, and people who come in and say, this is a great deal going forward. I think they get it. They're courageous. Most of the people that live here understand that for $4,000 a year, that is Pelican Landing, the Colony, and Costa the Bay Club, for $4,000 a year, you get membership to private dining. Right there, back when I worked at WCI, we worked with many people who wanted to be able to have a private dining facility to go to, but they weren't necessarily golfers. Great solution. No minimums required, and I'm just really proud of what they're doing over here, with their morning coffee and inexpensive brunch on Sundays, and making that work and providing community without having necessarily having a golf membership. We have 2 canoe and kayak parks. We have a sailing club. We have a butterfly garden here. We have a huge tennis program. And of course, we know we have a private beach that's about to undergo a major renourishment project. We have classes on cooking and floral design. We have, even if you don't have fitness in your home, you can fetch it at the Pelican Landing Community Association. But of course, many of the high-rises, you have beautiful, state-of-the-art fitness facilities. Book clubs and card groups and sunset cruises and opportunities to get involved. And the whole privacy piece, the whole security piece is ever more important. And you know, we have that here. That's already built in, that's part of the infrastructure here. And you know, I just think that is a super value. And so do the people whom I have had the pleasure of touring through the colony. They get it. I'd like to introduce to you Holden. Holden is the grandson of John and Francesca Falls. And they live over at Navona. And Holden is up on the screen because he is participating in a little contest we have. This is just a fun thing. If you go to Facebook, how many people here are Facebook people? How many got bludgeoned into submission by their grandchildren or children? Okay. If you are so inclined, we have on our Colony Properties Facebook page a place where we would like to see you post your grandbaby. We have some others. This is Tanner. Tanner is the grandson of Bill and Dorothy Podell of Castella. And then finally, dun, 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 meet AJ and his sister Sloan. These are the grandchildren of Dick and Marilyn St. Jean of Florencia. Thank you for contributing to that. We'd love for you guys to post your grandbabies up there, and all you have to do is go to Facebook. It's Colony Properties by Jill Kushner. Click on Colony's Cutest Grandbabies. I wanted to give you a couple of things to go home with because I feel like it might be difficult to get accurate information about what's going on here. First of all, I have always stated that it is a complementary feature of my practice that if you ever want to know closed sales of anything, it's very simple for me to email it to you. So you're cordially invited to send me an email and tell me what criteria you're looking for, and I'll happily provide. But there's another one I have. It's called jillkushner.listingbook.com. And basically, if you go to this site and you put in your, let's say we're looking for a friend who wants, this is not necessarily in the colony, and the friend wants to spend between $300,000 and $500,000. They want a condominium. You input that criteria, and this service will email you any updates as they become available based on the area that you've chosen. That'll come to you on a daily basis. So that's jillkushner.listingbook.com. If you just follow the prompts, you'll see how it works. I very much appreciate the opportunity to work with you, and I'm very grateful that this is where I get to go to work. I mean, I say to my family, this is not work. This is fun, and it is fun for me, and it's important to me that you feel comfortable about where you live on the financial piece of it as well. And so if there's a time that I may be of service to you, I hope that you do reach out, and I want to thank you very much for coming. I'm going to introduce to you just real quick Donna Marcotte. She's going to give us just a little update and about the golf club, and we'll field some questions after that. How's that sound? Thanks again.
All right, here we go. So you get this facility, obviously when you buy a home here, it's included, but we also have the fabulous amenity of the golf club and the sports center, which includes tennis, spa, and fitness. The golf clubhouse opened in 1999, if you can believe it. It's been quite some time now. The sports club opened in 2004. Currently, we have 218 golf members at the club, and we have 140, sports members. The caps are respectively 325 and 350. We also have some associate golf members too. Those are the two types of membership that we offer here in the colony. Some of the good things, the good news about the colony is that we've conveyed all of our assets. So the golf club was conveyed. It's its own entity. It is without debt, free of debt, and the golf club is operating at a cash flow positive currently. So I think those are good. That's a good message in this economy, and with the state of a lot of clubs the state that a lot of clubs are in currently. There are no food and beverage minimums, and while the developer operates the facility, there are no assessments either. The club enjoys a very highly engaged and satisfied membership that is reflected in our surveys. We have an equity golf membership, and that's offered at $75,000. And we have an equity sports membership that is on the second slide. What I like to tell folks is the difference in those two memberships is how often you can play golf. You can play unlimited golf in season with the equity golf membership, and the equity sports membership limits that. So if you're not a golfer, or perhaps you're not here full time, you can still access our tennis facility, which has spa and fitness, and you can have some limited off-season golf. If you're more of an avid golfer, you can access golf through the equity golf membership. The club remains focused on providing the highest level of service to its members. We're always looking to obviously increase the membership of the club. A third of our members this year came from our existing membership, so we're very grateful for that. For those of you who might like an opportunity to experience the club and see what it's like, we offer those opportunities. We have a group of member ambassadors who are very engaged and who are good at bringing us new members and welcoming new members too. So I would just ask in closing that if you have any questions or you need any additional information, or you want to try out the facilities, whether it's to play a game of golf or to participate in a clinic, a tennis clinic, or one of our fitness classes, if you'd like to take a spa service, just let me know. I'll be here after the meeting today. And again, if there's anything more that we can do for you here at the Colony, let us know. Thank you.